My cousin accused me of interfering with her life, so I skipped her wedding.
If I can't interfere with your life, I won't interfere with your wife.
For context, I'm Indian, and all my extended family on my mother's side are very close. Names have been changed. My cousin, Shayla, is getting married in a few weeks, and I've decided not to attend. Shayla is my third cousin, my mother's cousin's daughter. By the way, this comes from user The Panda Loves to Sleep. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, we lived in the same city growing up and had a sometimes close, sometimes distant relationship. We've never had a falling out such as this. No major altercations, but a lot of her behavior as we grew up bothered me. For example, both of us moved to the same city, Delhi, for our jobs after completing graduation. She's 5 years older than me. I was kind of excited to have family in the city I was moving to and asked her if we could live together. She said her father said no and that he had asked her to stay with her friend. So I let it go and got an apartment on my own. Frankly, I don't hold a grudge over it since everyone has their own space requirements and maybe living with a family member was just not her thing. A few years later, her engagement was announced. In India, engagement ceremonies are also full-blown family events, not just a moment between the couple. I was on leave from work at the time and happened to be in our hometown where the ceremony was to take place. I went to her house and participated in all the preparations, wrapping gifts, applying henna on all my auntie's palms, even creating an engagement ring tray from scratch and decorating it. I was very excited, as she's the only older sister figure I have per se. On the day of the engagement, I stayed by her side, fixing her dress, her hair, etc. It was a pretty ceremony. Afterwards, she posted pictures on Instagram, and when I checked the post, she had not posted a single picture with me. No tagged photos.
Not one. She hates you.
A crime. I was being a little cheeky, but like truly, I'd be like, are we good?
Yeah, it's like if I didn't post any photos of Dakota on the Columbia trip.
So I'll admit I felt a little bad. She had pictures with her friends and other cousins, but not me. I still didn't say anything because I felt I was just being petty. It was just a post after all. A few months later, unfortunately, the engagement broke off because he cheated, and we were all very disheartened. She had actually left her job in Delhi to prepare for this wedding. Once the dust settled a few months later, she took up another job and came back. This time she contacted me and asked if she could stay with me. I joyously agreed, but I had an apartment with only one bedroom, and it was quite small. So we decided to look for another apartment that would be more comfortable for two people. This was in February 2023, and it took us about 3 weeks to hunt for a new place. But we didn't like anything, and we couldn't decide on one. I even took a few days off work to go apartment hunting with her, and during this time, we were sharing my small space. So we became close again. We shared secrets and had late-night conversations. It was fun. Girl time, talking about boys. Ooh. Unfortunately, around the same time, my grandmother fell really sick, and I had to visit her in my hometown. I left the keys to my apartment with Shayla and went home. My grandmother passed away, so I was gone longer than planned. When I came back, Shayla told me she had put down a deposit on an apartment. It was a one-bedroom set, and she had already moved into it by the time I returned.
Whoa. I'm sorry, wait. Like, you guys had planned to live together. You were looking at places to live together, and then you go and take care of your ailing grandmother, and then she's like, I already moved into a new place.
Timeline really is important here, and clearness of communication is important here.
That's a weird move.
I think no one would be wrong here if the friend is like, hey, like, I can't wait for this timeline. Like, I'm going to have to find something else. Or
if she had said that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, we have to communicate things clearly. Can't just leave people in the lurch, hang them out to dry. We have a friend that had that done to them, me and Keon, and they're thriving right now.
So, Pete, you're going to be thriving.
I felt like my time was wasted and even found some things missing from my apartment, like a beautiful moon lamp. Again, no confrontation.
What do you mean? I'd be like, hey, did you take my moon lamp?
She's like, we were going to steal the moon.
That's really weird, and you should confront her about that. I'm sorry, she left. That feels especially weird for you to come back. She's gone. Some of your furniture is gone, and then she's like, yeah, I moved out.
It was all a play for the moon lamp.
She freaking stole from you.
Gotta call that out immediately. Cut to a year later. She fell in love with a guy and posted a lot of pictures with him on Instagram. I saw those and asked her about little details as I was happy she had moved on from her heartbreak. She told me he was a guy from her office and that's where they met and fell for each other. I was happy for her. A few months later, her mother announced to the whole family that she was getting married again, now to this guy. Mind you, it is a love marriage, which is a very sensitive subject in our family.
As opposed to like an arranged marriage. That's about my understanding.
I think I agree. Kudos to her for actually being able to convince her parents. When I found out about the wedding from my mother, in my excitement, I let it slip that I had seen his pictures. My mom said that another cousin, male, had also seen the pictures and mentioned them before the news of the wedding had even broken out. My mom asked to see them too, and since the wedding was already happening and others had spoken about seeing the pictures on her Instagram feed, I didn't think it needed to be a secret anymore. A few days later, she sent me a very aggressive text asking if I had shown his pictures to anyone.
Oh, come on. I'm sorry. If you post pictures of yourself on your Instagram,
secret husband.
Unless you're being followed only by like your 3 closest friends and you say, don't share this with anyone. Like if you're posting on Instagram, it's public.
He's a vampire. Have you been showing people pictures of an empty void with no one there saying that it's my husband?
You've given away.
You go, no? Okay, good. Because that would be ridiculous. I'm not marrying a vampire office husband.
I'm the only one in those pictures.
Nothing to see here. She also said, don't you dare lie. I know the truth. I confessed and said, yeah. After I got the news of the wedding, I showed them to my mom. She got mad at me saying it was private.
Then why did you put it on Instagram, you dummy? If you wanted it private, then you should have texted those pictures and said, keep these private.
I apologized to her, saying that I didn't mean any harm by it. She outright said that she didn't want anyone interfering in her life. The use of that word was hurtful. I said I wasn't interfering in any way and genuinely didn't see any harm in showing a few pictures of the groom-to-be, which she herself had posted on Instagram, to my mother. She said it got her into trouble and blamed me for it.
How is that OP's fault?
Your husband's existence is getting you into trouble. That's beyond OP's realm of expertise.
You got in trouble for potentially, it seems, posting something on a public forum. OP didn't make that decision. People were going to find out regardless if OP was the messenger or not.
I would get it if it was more like you're exposing the location of my secret wedding, but that's literally not what's happening. Anyway, back to it. I'll admit I got mad, thinking that if she wanted so much privacy, she shouldn't have posted the pictures in the first place. All the cousins had seen the pictures. Some had even met the guy. Yet out of all of them, I was the one being called out.
She just doesn't like you, I think.
Maybe she might have beef with you. Maybe her new vampire husband made some comments about, what's your cousin's blood type?
And she's trying to save you. From her vampire husband. Keep you away.
I don't see the harm in showing pictures of the groom-to-be, which she herself had posted already to someone. I don't know what or how much trouble she got into. She never told me. I still feel she could have been less rude about it or tried to talk afterward if she reacted in the heat of the moment. I admit it wasn't up to me to show the pictures to everyone, and in my defense, I shared them only with my mom. I asked her to, and she swears she never said a word to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, like, we already know that other cousins were talking about it and saw those pictures. So, it probably was shared with the cousin's parents by someone else. And OP just got in trouble for it.
Being mad at OP instead of being mad at the people who are mad at her.
I think that she's just scapegoating OP.
Be mad at the people who are mad that your husband exists and cares about you. I don't know what word got out or from where. Since my mother swears she never said anything, I'm not going to doubt her. I genuinely apologized to Shayla when she confronted me, yet she has given me radio silence in return. So I've decided not to attend their wedding. If she thinks I'm interfering in her life, then I shouldn't be a part of her life event either. Neither of us had tried to contact the other since. In my head, I've gone no contact with her. But since our families are very close, my aunties and other cousins are saying I should come to the wedding and not hold a grudge. But I feel like I'm done. I don't want to keep a relationship with her, and I've put my foot down about not attending the wedding. Would I be the a-hole? And by the way, you certainly couldn't ever possibly be the a-hole if you listen to full episodes with stories like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcast, wherever you get podcasts, search OK Storytime, and there you will find the treasure chest. And it's chock full of stories. So we do have a little more story left. Before we get into it, would they be the a-hole for not going?
No, I don't think so. It seems like you have already apologized. You've already made those attempts to reconcile, and she's just ignoring you. It seems like you would not be welcome at this wedding. She's just blaming you for everything that's not your fault at all. I don't know why she's reacting this way to you, but she's definitely scapegoating you.
I think it's a bit of a everyone's overreacting situation. Because it's like OP's friend is probably just like stressed out because it's like a non-arranged thing. Who knows where she's actually getting it from. And it's like, depending on how long or how valuable the friendship is to you, that's something that you could be like, how much you value your relationship with your third cousin here. And if it's like, I don't really care, sure, like go no contact, don't go. But it's like, by not going, you're probably now opening up another can of worms that's going to lead to more drama in your life. In our culture, it is not common to send out invitations to parents and children separately. If there's a wedding in the family, it's implied that everyone will go, especially if it's close family. And since my mother and her mother are very close, there's no need for a formal invitation for my family to attend. Having said that, not once did she even mention that I should attend. She just lashed out on me and went radio silence since then. I'm not expecting a formal invitation, but there was literally no word from her end that would indicate that she wants me there. I agree, there's active beef here, but big family get-together event, Indian engagement, wedding, whatever, just go. Save yourself the months, potentially years of this thing continuing on and being a headache in your ear.
I think you have to find out what will be more of a headache for you and choose that option.
Let's finish this story. So we have some comments. Comment number 1, short answer, it's an invitation, not a summons. You don't have to attend. OP said that's exactly what I keep telling myself. The problem is I didn't make up any work-related excuse to not go. That would have been acceptable. I just said I won't go. I don't go where I'm not heartily invited, and that led to people saying that I'm being petty. Maybe I should have just made an excuse. Comment 2 says, I'm just guessing here, but maybe your cousin had made her Instagram private from her parents because she wasn't sure how they would react to a love match. Probably one of your other cousins let it slip to her parents and she decided to dump it on you. OP does say maybe. If she talked about it, like actually had a conversation, we could get to the bottom of it, but she just lashed out and that was that. And that is the end of that story. That is true. Could have been a private story.
Regardless, it's not OP's fault.
Guess what? Your parents are going to figure out who you're marrying when you get married at the wedding.
But that's the end of that story.